I think that attorneys have a special obligation to provide for those who are underrepresented in our community. It's both our duty and our privilege as the guardians of our legal system. I contribute to And Justice for All because I believe it's an investment in our collective future. For every dollar that I invest, I get a return on that investment of 7 times. And this comes in the form of savings to taxpayers, whether it's through savings of the court, healthcare, social services. All of these things are so important, but they cost a lot of money. And this money is really well spent. For every dollar that I contribute, 91 cents of that dollar goes to actual services. Supporting And Justice for All is important because injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. When we fail to support those most vulnerable in our society, we jeopardize a core principle of democracy: equality.
Cameron is 18 years old. He has a great love of agriculture, landscaping, nursery work. He has an intellectual disability, and he qualifies for special education services. He had a bunch of things happening at school that were a real problem. He was being told that he was not going to graduate from high school. He was not getting the support he needed in terms of his math classes, and his mom was pretty upset and didn't really know what to do, and Cameron felt the same.
When he was asked to sign documents that he didn't understand, it sparked questions, so I contacted the Disability Law Center on his behalf, and they looked into it and gave us hope that they could help get the accommodations.
Under special education law, schools are required to provide transition services. This means that part of a student's plan as they get prepared to graduate from school should provide classes and experiences that prepare them for independent living, employment, and education. One thing we do at the Disability Law Center is we try to help people to be self-advocates. And Cameron and his mom were both great self-advocates. He told the school what he needed in terms of math classes, in terms of the work opportunities, and in terms of signing off on things at school that he needed more opportunity to review things at home.
You know, to me it was important to advocate for him, for his education, to make sure he received services that would help him be successful, not only in school but in life.
Had Cameron and his mother not contacted the Disability Law Center and had us involved in the situation, he would not have graduated from school.
His future looks very bright. He's on track to graduate. Voc Rehabilitation is working with him to help get him an internship or on-the-job training in the horticulture program or landscape design, which is what his heart desires. And I feel confident that he'll be able to accomplish everything that he sets out and works hard to do. We are extremely grateful and appreciative for the services that Disability Law Center has provided Cameron and continue to provide, because I feel confident they'll monitor through graduation to ensure his accommodations are met. I don't know where we would be without the services, and we are extremely grateful for the help that we're getting.
Graduating is important because if you don't graduate high school, you can't get a decent job. I need to graduate to get a good job.
Being married for 15 years, my husband and I had a great relationship at first. I trusted him with every bone in my body. He was a hard worker, he was a great dad, and somewhere he changed. He was no longer the family man that he was. He stopped participating in family activities and was very withdrawn, and it started to become very abusive. The kids just didn't want anything to do with him. We decided to end our marriage. He was self-employed, had several businesses, and he was making very good money. He was very comfortable. I had been a stay-at-home mom, depended on him solely for income. We have a disabled son, so I was homeschooling, and when he left, there was no funds. There was nothing that I could supply my children with. So I needed a lawyer to step in and be an advocate for me and be an advocate for my kids.
All family law cases are difficult for the parties involved. Sometimes the parties feel like they're in limbo, other times the parties are in crisis. In this instance, because of the lack of support that Tina was receiving and because of the needs of her children, her family was in crisis while this matter was being determined.
I came across legal aid. Once I was assigned a lawyer, things just started moving very quickly. And we were in mediation within 30 days, and the divorce was final in another 30 days.
You know, Tina's become a much happier person. She does have some stability in her life. She's happy to know that she can provide for her family, for herself, that she can move forward and become a more productive member of the community.
I was really satisfied with the outcome. I couldn't have asked for a better attorney. I was very excited to have it behind us, and I was relieved. I'm glad it's finally over with, and I'm glad that I had legal aid to help me through it.
I was unemployed, and I was in the unemployment insurance. My mother died in Brazil, and I need to go to Brazil to at least sign a paper.
And while there, she continued to apply for unemployment each week as she was required to do. She made contacts for jobs more than what was required, and felt that she was capable of returning to Salt Lake City on very short notice.
My son is a pilot, so if he's a pilot, I have free tickets. And I came back. When I came back, I received a note saying that I had committed fraud, I have to return the money, and I have to pay a fee. And I said, how come? I did everything that I should have done.
So we felt that she was in a position where she could comply with the unemployment rules just as much as someone who were in some distant part of the United States.
I was very angry, because I knew that I didn't commit fraud. When they said that I could have a lawyer without paying, because I was feeling that they weren't fair with me, you know, this is one of the things that really caused me a deep emotion for being an American. Because we don't have that in Brazil.
And of course, fraud carries a pretty strong moral message that you essentially bordered on criminal activity. Helena, as I got to know her, had very strong principles, very strong values. She said, I'm not a fraud.
A person that commits fraud, it's not good. You don't commit fraud. You have to have a clean life. You have to believe in yourself. And you have to show people they can believe in yourself. So commit fraud is not good, not in my values.
So eventually the Court of Appeals ruled that Helena not only had not committed fraud, but was entitled to the benefits all along. And then of course the case got appealed up to the Utah Supreme Court. Utah Supreme Court came back and said the Court of Appeals was correct, they're entitled to benefits, and consequently Helena got her benefits and was free of this charge of fraud.
Without Utah Legal Service, I wouldn't be able to have this feeling of relief that I'm not a fraud. They didn't only return my integrity, but they pay me what they owe me. I'm Brazilian. I was born in Brazilian. But today I can say that I'm proud to be American when you see things like that.